Imagine a library so vast that when it was set on fire, it didn't just burn for a few days. It took 3 full months for 9 million handwritten manuscripts to finally turn to ash. Today, all that remains of that archive are these red brick ruins in the state of Bihar. Looking at these empty foundations raises a difficult question. Why was this specific site targeted for such total destruction? And what knowledge was lost in those 3 months of fire? The story begins in the 5th century under the Gupta Empire. This was a period of immense wealth and stability that allowed for a massive investment in higher learning. This gold coin shows a ruler of the time seated and playing a stringed instrument called a veena, reflecting an empire that prioritized the arts and complex culture as much as it did military power. That wealth funded a university operating like a self-contained city. The layout featured 10 massive temples and 8 halls for daily lectures. It was fully residential, with thousands of students living in monasteries surrounded by parks and lakes. The most prominent feature of the skyline was the library complex, with its central building reaching 9 stories high. Nalanda was a highly engineered academic metropolis, built centuries before the first universities appeared in Europe. Gaining entry to this metropolis was an incredibly difficult process. Prospective students had to pass an oral examination conducted by specialized gatekeepers at the university entrance. The selection process was so rigorous that historical records show fewer than 20% of applicants were actually accepted. Those who were admitted studied a multidisciplinary curriculum that included medicine, astronomy, mathematics, and logic, alongside the Vedas and Buddhist philosophy. Surviving palm leaf manuscripts provide physical proof of this advanced study. These intricate grid patterns and geometric diagrams were used for complex astronomical and mathematical calculations. We know these details today because of meticulous journals kept by international scholars like Xuanzang, who traveled thousands of miles to document the university. By centralizing the most advanced knowledge of the ancient world, Nalanda became the undisputed intellectual epicenter of its time. That concentration of knowledge eventually made the university a target. In the late 12th century, a fast-moving invasion force reached the gates. The invasion was led by a commander who sought to dismantle the intellectual foundation of the region by destroying its greatest institution. The campus was sacked, and a fire was started within the 9-story library manuscripts stored there. The fire was so massive that it consumed centuries of recorded human progress in a single catastrophic event. The physical infrastructure was leveled, but the invaders failed to realize that an intellectual tradition is much harder to burn than a building. These weathered brick steps lead nowhere today, serving as a permanent reminder of the 12th century collapse. However, the study of Nalanda's history eventually led to the establishment of a modern university campus in Rajgir, designed to continue the work of the original institution. The existence of this new campus proves that the university's value was never limited to its original physical walls. 9 million manuscripts were lost to the fire, but the specific mission of this megastructure, the pursuit of multidisciplinary knowledge, has finally been relit for the future.